Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. I'm very excited here to have James Cooke, and his name is CaptC. He goes by CaptC, as you can imagine, from Captain Cook, and that's a great moniker. And he's got some really fun music tonight. We're gonna have a lot of fun with it. I guess how would you characterize that, James? What would you call it?
Well, I call my music flannel country, which is sort of a blend of Americana, folk rock, and modern country. So it's again, because I'm up here in the north, so
Yeah,
it's sort of Americana country music with a northern attitude.
I love it. Well, you must have performed at one point at the Arrowhead Farms down in Willimantic or in that area.
Yep.
And I saw your card, and that's how I got a hold of you. And I'm having a lot of fun watching your videos. You've got some really fun videos here. But before we get into all that, tell us a little bit how you got into music in the first place. When you were a kid, was your mom going around singing arias, and your dad was playing the fiddle, or what was your exposure as a young child?
Actually, I was drawn to music as a young kid. I actually I borrowed my brother's guitar and he quit playing and I kept on playing, took a lot of music lessons. Interestingly enough, there are some musicians. My grandmother was a concert pianist. My
Ah,
cousin, now recently passed away, is was a country music producer. Um, so yeah, but
so there's
I
music
grew
in
I
your
played
blood,
in
in your
the
DNA.
yeah, so I played in the rock band in high school and college, and
Yeah.
then sort of again, it wasn't a career I decided to pursue. Um, Probably should have, but I got back into it probably about 15, 20 years ago. As my kids got older, I started getting back into playing.
I love it. So you were in a band in high school. Did you still
Yep.
do some of that, afterwards?
Um, I again, I right now I do when I play, I do a solo act, singer
Yeah,
songwriter.
yeah.
With a band for a lot of reasons, the economics aren't really there. Um, well, we want to get into that,
No, we could get
but
into that a little bit. I
uh,
heard that in Germany, the investment for music is something like $67 per capita, and the United States is something like 16 cents per capita. It's just a very different world. Yeah.
well, again, as someone said, there are a lot of people who want to do this as a career, and all the new technologies is in many ways democratized it.
Yes.
So big labels are no longer the only gateway to having a career, but believe me, as an indie artist, it's really tough. I don't know how these young kids do it. There's so many demands.
Yeah. Yeah.
In many ways, it's a well, in many ways, I think it would have been a lot easier to be, to do what they did in the old days, which is play out and they get signed by a label. Um,
Yes.
but most
Yes.
of your acts now, many of them are indie acts, although they do have managers and people around them to help
I
out.
actually interviewed someone a while back that was her claim to fame is she was the best known band that never got signed by anyone in Boston. So, so
Well,
there are a lot of
there are
people
many
that don't
bands
get
who get
signed.
signed who don't get the right producer, who don't get the right
Yeah,
marketing team,
yeah,
and they go nowhere, and they're actually very good.
very good, very gifted.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited to show this first piece, which is a Wyatt Earp. It's called "Be Like Wyatt Earp," and I love the videos that you had put together with these. They're just awesome. And I understand you're using AI, I believe, for those videos. And
Right. Give it background. I write story songs. Okay, my songs literally have a beginning, middle, and end.
yeah.
I don't have the budget. If you look at a lot of these art by big label artists, they have, they go out and shoot like a mini movie.
Hmm.
I don't have that money, so I use actually a person I know does these for me. It's done with a program called Midjourney AI, and the advantage of it, especially as we'll see with this one, which is the depiction of the Old West, it's just a way to do it at an economical cost. I mean, they're
It's impressive and fun. I'm really quite excited to show people this. So this is called "Be Like Wyatt Earp." Did you want to talk any more about the backstory on this before we play it?
sure. Well, a couple of things, and we can maybe get into this a bit.
Yeah.
Um, my approach to writing has changed over the last decade. I used to sit down on the porch and write a song, or something would pop into my head as I'm doing a chord progression. I don't do that anymore. I start with an idea, a concept I want to pursue. So in the case of Be Like Wyatt Earp, okay, um, this actually was done when they had the problems with Branson. Um, and to give you a little bit of a backstory on this, it really takes a modern look at the gunfight at the OK Corral. for those of you who don't know the history of this, when Wyatt Earp and his brothers and Doc Holliday walked into the OK Corral to confront the bad guys, they were maybe 10 to 15 feet away when they opened fire. Okay,
Mm,
think about this. You're 10 feet away, and the only thing you say is the pistols back then weren't that as accurate as they are today.
right.
So the question, I mean, which gets me thinking, you'll hear the song is like, you know, if you're going to be a police officer, I mean, are you going to be as brave as Wyatt Earp? Because I
Mm,
mean, think about it. You walked in, you're going to confront these people, and you're going to draw your weapon, and you're going to fire, and you're right on top of one another. So
yeah.
that's the background. By the way, this recounting of the gunfight is, I would say, 99% accurate.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well,
So
let me share this now. This is actually quite fun, and we'll probably play most of it, and maybe later we
okay.
might play all of them. But I just really love the effects on this.
Back in the West, gunmen were the law. Justice was meted out by who had the fastest draw. At the OK Corral, Wyatt Earp stood face to face with the 5 laws for years he had chased. The cowboys at the crowd were real bad men. They rustled cattle and they preyed on the innocent. So Earp and his brothers, they knew they had to be disarmed before they shot Tombstone and caused the town more harm. If you're gonna pull on a band, you better be like Wyatt Earp. You can't be scared of getting killed, afraid of being hurt. Gotta be like Wyatt Earp. The cowboys at the crown were told to put their guns down. Instead they opened fire without a warning sound. For 30 seconds they all exchanged lead. When the smoke had cleared, 3 of the 5 were dead. 2 of the ready cowboys said they were unarmed. So Earp and his brothers with murder were charged. But the judge said Earp had acted in the law. For you see, Wyatt Earp, he had the fastest draw. If you're gonna put on a band, you better be like Wyatt Earp. You can't be scared of getting killed, afraid of being hurt. Gotta be like Wyatt Earp.
Love it. Love it.
As I said, that's 90. That's pretty much historically accurate. I have to say one thing, a couple things about this song. Also, I
Yeah.
think of a big shout out to my producer Jeff Wadhams.
Hmm.
Jeff really took my idea for a song and really, I mean, accented it with that almost movie theme like quality to that
Yeah.
video.
So did he do
Again,
the
I think
piano
that's
work
one of
on
the
it?
things they don't talk about a lot. I think for many artists to be successful, I mean, the Beatles had to meet George Martin, and working with this guy has been really helpful to me to making a lot of my songs come
Yeah.
to life.
Now, where is he
Yeah,
based?
he's based down in Connecticut.
Oh, he is.
Oh yeah.
Whereabouts, do you know?
He's down in I should know this off the top of my head.
Well, I'll have to check that out because I'm in Connecticut.
Stafford Springs.
Oh, okay. And so did he also play the piano on that?
He's playing the piano on it.
Very nice.
I mean, again, I play basically only guitar, so he's capable of adding all the other instruments. In fact, he plays some lead guitar. I play some lead guitar in some of these songs, you know.
Yeah.
So he's very good. The other thing, just talk about the song, talk about composition a little bit for a minute.
Yes, sure.
The song is actually in the Aeolian mode, which is common to folk songs. In fact, I was playing with a musician friend of mine in like 18th, 17th century English folk songs when I was writing this. So the common pattern for the verses is a 1-7-1-7-5, if you know that sort of terminology,
Yeah.
which is very common to folk songs. But when I got to the chorus, you have to change, because actually that pattern doesn't, well, it lends itself for speaking, for telling the story, but not for bringing in the chorus. So I switch. I go to the relative major when I get to the chorus. I had that hook be like a Wyatt Earp.
I love it. One of the things I've always wondered about is you see sometimes composers change keys mid-song, and I don't know what rule or reason they use for that. Is there anything you know about, what's the pattern? If you're in A minor, do you go to a D major?
Well, again, you can do anything you want in music, but it just might not sound good.
Right.
Common moves are, for example, if you're in A minor, you might go to the C, which would be the relative major. I mean, you could go to D minor, you could go to E minor. Again, it would be unlikely that you would go to C sharp minor, but believe me, there are songs where they do weird things.
Yeah. I guess is it a Napoleonic chord or something that's actually, if you key of C, it's a D flat major or something like that. I came across that recently, but for those that don't know Aeolian mode, that's if you were playing on the white keys and starting on A instead of C. That's the
you're playing the C scale, but you're using A as your home note or do note.
That's your starting note. Yeah.
I mean, exciting. Again, if you want an interesting band, I mean, the Beatles will do things not only will they switch keys, they'll sometimes switch keys in the mode in the middle of a verse line. I mean, but they're masters of segueing it so that it doesn't sound totally discordant, yet it catches your ear.
Now, you told me you read a book about the Beatles. What was that called? Something.
It was a friend of mine introduced a book called "The Songwriting Techniques of the Beatles," and it's a very interesting book. The guy interviewed Paul McCartney's brother and I believe George Martin. It's a scholarly book, but what his argument is that when the Beatles were in their formative stages playing over in Germany, they were covering a lot of songs that weren't just rock and roll. And the two of them, Lennon and McCartney, absorbed a lot of these concepts into their head, which they would pull out. I mean, that's one of their genius. They just knew when to apply certain concepts to songs. And I mean, again, it's a very interesting book. I would say that if you haven't had a lot of music theory, you might be challenged reading it. I will make.
Oh, is that true? Okay.
Okay, I will make a suggestion though for people out there who want to write songs.
Yeah.
For somebody who took 2 courses in music theory in college, and by the way, aced them.
Excellent.
There's a book called Hook Theory 1 and 2, and the advantage of these 2 books are that basically you can get them on your computer, and they'll give you examples. For example, this is a 5 of 5 and when to use it. But they pull stuff not only from the Beatles and Beethoven, but they'll pull it from, Lady Gaga, Imagine Dragons, Taylor Swift, and they have little snippets. So it's interactive. So you can actually hear, because for copyright reasons, they can only play a little portion of the song, but you can hear the section they want to call out. And then there's a quiz at the end of each chapter. So, it asks you interactively to make sure you understand the concept. It's
nice.
For someone who's never had music theory, and you got to read book 1 before you read book 2, by the way, because book 2 gets more elaborate.
Well, let's get into this next piece, which is called Crazy as Can Be. You want to give us a little background?
I did this one with another producer called Jake Keeloy. Again, Jake's a very good guy, but go ahead, play it.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you a story about this song.
Okay.
Vision of escape those things. So is this your idea of fun? Asked her while we were on the run. She just laughed and shouted back, You get more from life than wild thing. She's crazy as can be, crazy till the nth degree. Wild lover is a mystery. Everyone but me. She sure did catch my fancy. Had to know if I was in her league. Asked her out, she said she would, but her heart belonged to Jim Beam. Don't care for walks along the beach, prefers race cars in the driver's seat. So I'm stuck riding shotgun. White knuckle belong to me. She's crazy as can be, crazy till the nth degree. Wild lover is a mystery. Everyone but me. Cycloning, rock climbing, hang gliding. Oh, chasing plastic balls around all green. Good thing my mama raised no sissy. Crazy as can be, crazy till the nth degree. Wild lover is a mystery. Everyone but me.
Now, I don't want to get you in trouble, but is there any potential real story behind this? Is this a relationship
Well,
in your
there
past?
there is a story behind this song. So first of all, this song I wrote with I used to write with a woman named, well, she goes by the name Serena Killsmith, or Mama Killsmith. In
Uh-huh.
fact, it was her brother-in-law who helped me produce this song.
Hmm.
Um, so we wrote this song, and at that point, I belonged to the National Songwriter Association, and they
Oh,
used to lean on some more prominent songwriters to critique songs. So they had a guy named Jim Beavers. You probably don't know or have heard of him, but he co-wrote "Parachute" with Chris Stapleton, and he wrote "Red Solo Cup" for Toby Keith. So
hmm.
he looked at the initial demo for this song, and one of the lyrics, the song talks about hornets. The guy said, and there was a line that rhymed with bees. He said, "Wait a minute, bees and hornets aren't the same thing," you know. And so again, at that point, you're absolutely right. We got to be consistent here. I mean, I had to tear up the whole lyrics and spend a whole month rewriting to get the rhyme scheme properly and to come across with the idea that Serena and I had started about, which was
Huh.
um, so it took a fair amount of work, but it was actually very, from a long-term perspective, um, Mr. Beavers impressed upon me the importance of discipline and needing to rework your songs to make sure they're up to snuff. So let's
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
yeah. So that's the backstory. No, we're in a we're in a mood on that one. I mean, I had an idea that I wanted to write a song about a crazy lady, and I think what would be the craziest thing a bunch of rednecks could do, and that would be to blow up a hornet's nest, because they would come though, to be honest, here's the time. At that point, I was having trouble with ground bees, and I was kept thinking, "I man, I got to
Oh,
blow these things up." So that was probably in the back of my mind.
oh my God. My wife once accidentally cut a hornet's nest in half and then stepped on both halves of it. And I'm glad she's still alive. But anyway,
Yeah,
this
well, that's
next,
again. I was having. They were again. They're rather
they're
pernicious
pretty,
creatures.
yeah.
I mean, they were. I had a problem when they were digging. Or they put a couple nests around the foundation of my house. So that was in the back of my mind when I came up with this. I said, well, what would be the craziest thing somebody could do? And that would be to blow up their nest. Which, believe me, I thought about it.
I bet. Well, now this next one is interesting because it says as a subtitle says radio cut. Does that mean that it's been it
Yeah,
was a
there was an
radio?
earlier version of the song I did. and again, one of the advantages that I've done actually with Jake Killoy, Jeff, the guy who produces my song now, can play the steel guitar. In fact, he's a in fact, he plays in the national touring band. He's a very good musician, and that's what I wanted to redo this song with again, for the country sound. That's steel guitar, so that's why we re-recorded it basically.
Now I was going to go to Can't Citify Country Guy, but you're talking about Find a Country Road?
No, we're talking about Can't Citify Country Guy.
We are. Okay.
That's the radio cut. That's I mean, because if you actually go look at Spotify, you'll actually find an older version of that song.
So a radio cut means it's shorter? Is that what that means, basically?
Well, I had to come up with another name for
to
differentiate on Spotify. And without getting into it, I got in the whole thing with my distributor TuneCore. They don't like to me it was a remix, but no, I can't call it a remix.
No, okay.
A remix would have meant I would have been sampling stuff from other people's music, and I'm not. This is my song. It's just a different version with a steel guitar.
Well, I like the title.
Ever since you met, you wanted him to change his country ways. Trade away his quarter-ton bar electric car. Stop working on the dusk and go 9 to 5. Quit drinking by the campfire, hanging carnival. You want him to skip the start of hunting, take your Broadway show. Well, you might as well go ask him to lose his shadow. 'Cause no matter how you try, you can sit a fine country guy. No point in waste your time. You can sit a fine country guy. He ain't biking through the park when he can ride his truck off-road. Business casual in his style, just with boots and jeans. He ain't ever eaten a Jack required supper club. Never gonna hear him say, let's go to a symphony. You wanna force fit and live inside a city flat? Well, you might as well go ask him to kiss a bobcat. 'Cause no matter how you try, you can sit a fine country guy. No point in.
I got to tell you, these lyrics are a lot of fun. How do you?
Well, again, I just a couple of comments on it. One, I'm a big fan of Toby Keith, and again, in a lot of my writing, Toby Keith has a real gentle humor.
Yeah.
In the lyrics of his songs, he's not biting, but they're just amusing. If you listen to songs like "Love This Bar," "Should Have Been a Cowboy," so again, that's one thing I was trying to capture in the song was that Toby Keith humor spirit.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's one of the things I try and do. We can get into lyrics later at some point because I spend a lot of time working on both. Again, based on this experience with Jim Beavers, reworking my melody and reworking my lyrics.
I have to admit, I've only written a few songs, and one of them was for one of our daughters, and I wanted it to be really beautiful. I had a concept, but I really couldn't make it very poetic, and I gave it to a friend of mine, and she turned it around and did wonders with it. And so I have to confess, for someone to do the songs and the lyrics and do a great job at it, that's really quite a feat. So congratulations on that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, let you know, the most modern pop songs are written by, unlike in the early days when Paul Simon was writing songs on his own, they're written by committees today.
Yeah.
And I think one is for legal reasons, but the other is because I really think with touring musicians these days, they're on a tight schedule. You don't make any money off stream music, so you got to tour. So they book a studio for 1 or 2 weeks, and they know enough about music that say, the bridge in the song is offered, those lyrics in that segment. So they bring other people in, and
Now you told me this next one, "Beer Under the Bridge." You almost got in trouble for this one. You want to give?
Well, I'll tell you. Well, let me just explain what "Beer Under the Bridge." The music video. Again, as you see, these videos bring to life the story in the song. I posted a snippet on TikTok, and TikTok banned it. Although they let me play without, the visuals,
Yeah.
and it's a very popular song on TikTok, as you can imagine, because of the audience on TikTok can relate to this song,
Yeah.
which deals with sneaking beer for a party when you're underage. So, and actually, the other thing about this song is actually this song is sort of autobiographical, because when I was working in college on a farm, um, somebody there used to sneak us beer, dropping it off under a bridge. So
Oh, that's where the end of the bridge reference came from.
that's what yeah. So if you watch the video, but again, no, it's kind of ironic that I think last summer was happening. TikTok was under a lot of pressure to be. The people were complaining about community standards on
Yeah,
TikTok,
yeah.
so I don't know, they flagged this one and they banned it,
No.
or banned a snippet of it. But anyway,
We're gonna get a chance to watch it today.
yeah.
Met in my summer, picking crops again. Buzz my ass, just like the old men. Yeah, just like them, I can't wait for the weekend. Weekend starts with a swim to cool off. Next up, take my cooler from the loft. Then I drive my truck to the pickup spot, boy. Under the bridge, that's where my buddy does the drop. We'll meet my friends out in the woods, have an outdoor party. Hope some girls decide to show up. We'll down some brew, crank up the boombox, set some fireworks off. Hope our racket doesn't draw the cops. Don't give me no noise while drinking brew. Don't give me no noise while breaking rules. Do a grown-up job, and you should get the same due. Cause when you stop work at 6 a.m., breaking your back, doing harvesting, thought that keeps you going 4 hours on end is here under the bridge. That's where my buddy does the drop. We'll meet my friends out in the woods, having a
I love it. What's interesting about this is that none of these people are real. This is all AI, right? So they're not.
Well, that's a good thing, probably, for
Yeah,
there's what that's for this song. That's probably very good that these are
they're just
not
all
real
made up.
people.
Yeah, they're not models.
I
They're not
mean,
even based on models. I mean, they're based on a generic, thing. But
well,
I mean,
again, I mean, I'll there's a song by Jelly Roll called God, I Need a Favor. I mean, if you watch that, I mean, the amount of money they must have spent to bring the story and the song to life. Again, as an indie artist who's not, making buku tons of money, I mean, it's an economical way to bring the story and the song. And basically, it's a slideshow, to be honest
yeah,
with you.
yeah. I
But,
just love the renderings. They're really pretty lifelike. It's pretty
well,
amazing, actually. Yeah,
yeah, well, that's what, again, like as you can see with Be Like Wyatt Earp. I mean, it depicts the Old West. Like,
yeah,
again, this creates a visualization. And again, the thing about where music is going is there are artists that we can this whole other discover visualization of music now. Canva's on Spotify. I mean, it's a whole different era in
yeah.
music. It's not dominated by the radio. It's
Mm. It's a visual art too. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. Now, this next one I'm going to play is Across the Lines. You want to give us any background on that one?
Um, well, the only again, in attempting to write a song, as I said, I conceptualize now. So what I look for is I look for an intriguing title that you try and bring a story to life. So I
Mm,
was thinking about relationships and whether you want to go across the boundaries from friendship to being a lover.
mm,
That's was the idea behind the song. Now, what's interesting about this is, from my point of view, um, I've gotten into a guy named Max Martin, who's probably the most dominant pop songwriter, who talks about a concept for planning hooks called melodic math, which he's never really defined, but people have studied what he's doing, so they have an idea what they believe he's doing. Um, and that's incorporated. It's incorporated in a lot of my songs recently that I'm writing. And
mm,
basically, the concept is the phrase that's at the start of the song is brought back into the chorus, and it
mm.
produces a hook that gets an earworm for your brain.
Yeah.
So that's again what I was doing in the song, and there's looking at some of his techniques, what you can do is you can take the same melodic phrase, but you can harmonize it with a different set of chords.
Mm. You also talked about something the other day when we were prepping for this, some kind of an odd note that is out of the scale or something that's like,
Okay. I'm sorry. There are two. Yeah, we can get it. Fortunately, there are two ways of supposedly of planning hooks in
yeah,
music. One is using a non-chord tone, which is called an unstable note. So
unstable. Yeah.
basically, and again, I know people watching that, hopefully they have a little bit of understanding. So
Sure.
if you take the C chord, it has in C, E, and G. So if
Mm.
I sing in the house and I sing C, D, E, right? E in the house. If I sing the D and it's not harmonized because it's not part of the C chord, it's called a passing tone.
Yeah, yeah,
If I want to harmonize it, I could use some chord like a C add 9, which has the ninth, which is the D.
yeah.
Um, but if you were to sing against the C in the C, E house, coming back to the D and not harmonize it, it's a non-chord tone and your ear catches. So you'll find songwriters from Taylor Swift, I think a lot, who use this technique for the
Mm.
hook of the song.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, those are two ways to implant hooks. Again, modern music, if you're doing anything that's pop oriented,
Mm.
um, and country right now is very pop oriented.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you plan hooks. So those are two methods that are used.
Mm.
Anyway, Across the Lines was one of the times I was when I was writing it, the Glyph Jam, my way of looking, I was trying to use melodic math as I understand it.
Excellent. Melodic math. I love that concept. All
Well,
right.
I didn't come up with a name. Max Martin did.
This is Cross the Lines.
Hung down for years. Always talked about getting together till you met that guy. 3 became an awkward number when we meet in town. You're so real, how your life is going, plus you never hide all the issues with him you're having every time we meet now. What will be that time when I tell you how I feel? With you I'm wanting to go across the line. Nights after some drinks, nights I'm lonely and I fall off the wagon. Open up my phone, think about what should have happened. You're close to me, I Spartan saying, take me, I'm yours. Why I never kissed, but took that pick, I can't shake it off. So every time we meet now, one will be that time when I tell you how I feel. With you, I'm wanting to go across the line. Every time I was on the verge, I made up.
You know, I have a hard time thinking of what I want to say in a song, and it's great that you have these wonderful concepts. I was just thinking today of writing a song about, a woman that looked like it was very promising, and I just, for some reason, just wasn't that interested. And now I look back and I think, what would life been like if I had just, for some, and now I look back and she was a wonderful woman at the time. I wasn't that excited about her, but, just you think back, what could life have been like if I had, gone a different path with that woman? That's kind of what this is the opposite, maybe in a way that you kind of didn't go that way and now wonder why. Well, maybe it's similar in a way, but yeah, I think that's an
Well,
interesting
again,
storyline.
all I can say about again, and we can get into the reason. I mean, I spent a lot of time now crafting songs. As I said, after the experience with Beavers, but as an indie artist for a lot, because of all the amount of promotion you have to do with social media and other things, you really can't put out more than a song every 2 months.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, it's just a lot of work. So I spend a lot of time, as I said, crafting. So a lot of this stuff doesn't. It's not like I sit down in an hour. I work over usually a month or two to put this
Yeah. And
together.
tell me about the social media aspect of it. What kinds of things do you do to promote yourself? And what would you
Um,
recommend to people out there that are wondering
I
what
mean,
they should
again, right. If you don't have a budget, and I don't,
do?
um, it, TikTok has been the most valuable, along with YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels,
Mm,
because again, the visualizations, um, and if you can get somebody to catch on to the hook of a song, then maybe they'll go out and listen to it
yeah.
on Spotify or Apple Music. Um, Again, that's as I said, right now, visualizations of music. I mean, people blow up on TikTok all
Mm,
the time,
yeah.
um, and it then they cross over to regular radio. I mean,
Hmm.
because I listen to it, I probably have a lot of these artists that people hear I've heard for a year or so before.
Oh, no kidding. And so I guess what you're saying too is if you take the hook, that little short piece, and put that on Spotify or, I mean, put that on Instagram or TikTok, that will be the way to literally hook people
Well,
into it.
that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
The thing is, it both those mediums, I mean, lend themselves to visualization. Let me give you an example. There's a guy named Benson Boone who had a #1 song last year. Um, I mean, he does again. He's a former skateboarder, so he comes up. He does a flip. He comes up singing into a vocal climb, and I remember saying, "Wow, look at this!" And I turned out, who is this guy? I look up the song. Um, and it was like the #1 song for worldwide for the last couple of weeks. I mean,
Oh my God.
but so the thing is, the medium places a lot of emphasis on visualization.
Right, right. Now tell me about this next song. This is a very interesting name. Sachiko Rose. How'd you come up with that name?
Sachiko Rose, yeah,
Sachiko Rose.
Sachiko Rose.
Sachiko Rose.
Um, so the backstory on this is I was playing at a music festival, and I was really surprised to see the amount of people doing side hustles, selling stuff, hippie-ish people, doing selling all sorts of stuff from candles to whatever at this music festival. So it got
Yeah.
me thinking about a story about a woman who's there who meets a musician and has a fling with him, and it turns out to be not the right situation. Um,
Mm.
that's was the backstory. Now the original name of the song was Avalon Rose, but there's an artist with that name. There are other songs. So
Oh.
again, so actually I had an aunt, I shouldn't say it, who's now again, whose first name was Sachiko, and again it just fit the
Oh.
rhyme scheme pattern
That's
of
a cool
getting
name.
in.
Is
And
there meaning behind that name or some kind of a
no, here's a again. We can talk a little bit about there's so many songs uploaded today
Yes.
that having an interesting title will, spark some interest. So if
Yeah.
you look like so if you call a song like Something in the Orange, which was by Zach Bryan, or Blank Space by Taylor Swift,
Hmm.
you'd immediately think is, well, what's Blank Space about? And
Right.
if you can fulfill the promise of the song, she does, um, or something in the orange field. I mean, again, you can't title a song with a bland title.
Right. Right.
You have to have something that's a little bit offbeat to attract some interest. And then
Well,
then the challenge for the songwriter is to fulfill the promise. Again,
yeah.
what's Blank Space about? Why is the song titled Blank Blank? Well, if you listen to the song, you'll know.
So this is Sachiko Rose.
Rings in her nose, painted purple, her nails in her toes, made a living working music shows, selling tickets to concert goers, kept to herself till one night she saw Mr. Right. Head over heels, she couldn't get him out of her mind. Oh, let me love, make you do crazy things that you regret when you're over him. Go coaching right into the wind when you should drive defensively, should drive your heart defensively. Just the right made rap music of sorts, played around and did it for sport. Tactical put the ball in his court, doing girly so it's no dessert. And one night when she knew he was in the mood, she corralled him and brought him back up to her room. Oh, lemon love, make you do crazy things that you regret when you're over him. Throw caution right into the wind when you should drive defensively, should drive your heart defensively. Come to daylight, she hated his sight. Found him to be crude and impolite, selfish and bent, shaft preoccupied. Reeking odors like a garment site. Couldn't believe that she'd been such a fool. Dropped her guard and let her heart run wild and loose. Oh, lemon love, make you do crazy things that you regret when you're over him.
I have to ask you, I've never heard the expression lemon love. I guess is that like a lemon car? Like it's just not a
Well,
good.
actually, I picked that. Again, in writing that song, I actually picked that up from the Urban Dictionary. I was looking
Oh,
for a word.
really?
Actually, oh yeah, because it was rhyme. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And
So
what
I
is
think
that
it's
what it means?
actually
It's kind of like a,
it's from another somebody, a rapper, somebody coined that
no
term. I don't
kidding.
know, but
So lemon love is a love that just like what's
yeah,
sour.
it's right. It's
Yeah.
just it's again
Yeah.
and again, I needed a term for infatuation and something that rhyme, and that's something
I like the
references.
way you talked about drive defensively when it comes to your art. That's a great
Yeah,
line.
well, again, trying to do metaphors and stuff that
Yeah.
again that can showcase again these visualizations, again bringing the story to life. And by the way, I
Mm.
should commend the person who does this named Julie Bennett, and she's excellent at
Wow.
working it. So
Yeah. Very nice. Now this next one's called No Show. What's the backstory on that
um the comment by my wife.
one?
Um, again, there's a comment she again, which is sort of inspiration. She talks, or she's made comments. So a lot of people go to these charity events and do things, and they don't do it because they don't really believe in the cause. They're doing it for the show.
Yes.
So that got me thinking. That line, which you'll hear in the song, about telling a story about someone coming to realization that this person he thought was really committed to this cause is basically a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in writing, I actually writing that bridge and stuff took a while for me to do,
Mm.
because again, I had to illustrate a point where he again, because you don't want to say this. One of the concepts you want to a good songwriter like just like a good will show not tell. Okay, so you had to give an example. So they spent a long time thinking, what can I do in a bridge? And again, the bridge should be the good songwriter uses the bridge as the turning point of the song. It spins in another direction. So the writing the bridge took me a while what to do and to come up with this example to convey to the listener that the person, the narrator of the song, has come to the realization that this person is not who he thinks
Yeah.
she
Now,
is.
does the bridge always come before the chorus? Is that how that works usually?
Well,
Or
and again, there are no rules in song.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But generally, I mean, the standard structures like verse, chorus, bridge, either back to verse, chorus, or back to chorus.
I see.
That's the
Yeah, yeah,
standard
yeah,
format they use.
yeah, yeah.
People, again, songwriters who are really sharp will use the bridge to really illuminate something in the song or turn it around. Um, you know,
I love it. Excellent. Well, this is No Show.
A charity gala is happening tonight. All day long you've been planning what to wear. Your clothes, your makeup, your hair. Everyone who thinks they're important will be there. The elite rated star, the would-be millionaire. Each one giving off the share of hot air. For you, it's all about the show. Striking for the camera right pose. But I'll be trying to get by on calm drinks alone. Hanging out with strangers, trying to make small talk. Standing in the corner, texting on my cell phone. Will you even notice if I'm on the show? Be sure to show up in time for the big reception. Give a good smile, eating rubber chicken. But don't overdo the warm glow. Rubbing their shoulders leaves a bad impression. Let them think you care, pretending to listen. Make a point to nod your head up and down. For you, it's all about the show. Striking for the camera right pose. But I'll be trying to get by on calm drinks alone. Hanging out with strangers, trying to make small talk. Or standing in the corner, texting on my cell phone. Will you even notice if I'm on the show?
No one really wants to be on the river.
yeah.
I love it.
You should probably play the bridge for a second if you don't mind, because the
Oh,
bridge.
sure. Oh, we
the
didn't
bridge,
we
yeah.
didn't get to the bridge yet?
Yeah, no, this
Oh.
is the bridge right now coming up.
I'm sorry.
I kicked him up and I saw who you are. She asked for help, I pulled out my clip. Offer her some dough, you said no. You don't have to. No one will ever know. And that got me thinking, could I go? 'Cause I'll be trying to get by on calm drinks alone. Hanging out with strangers, trying to make small talk. Or standing in the corner, texting on my cell phone. Will you even notice if I'm on a show? Will you even notice if I'm on a show? No, 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 no show.
Now, Captain, I got to ask you, I see these things in the corner. Do you do these or is that automatically done by YouTube?
You can set them up by YouTube. They're done to basically drive people into your
Yeah,
next song.
but you set
So
that
yeah,
up yourself?
I sort of, I mean, yeah, I believe I probably set those up.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's very good.
I mean,
That's a good
it's
strategy. Yeah,
Yeah. So
excellent.
again, as you see the song, the bridge, which gives the example when he comes to the realization is this why this person's a phony.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's
yeah.
powerful. That's powerful. Now, this next one I'm going to play is called A Very Special Girl. I'll play the whole thing because it's only 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. You want to give us a little background on that before we play it?
Um, yeah, again, talking about concept, the original idea for the song was called Button Down Girl, but it doesn't really lend itself to good syllabization when you're singing.
Yeah.
Um, and the idea was to basically do a song about, which I sort of wanting to find in life someone who's a non-material girl. This is the opposite of Madonna, I guess. I
Hmm.
mean, someone who's not into material things.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean, song's about. And I wasn't going to title it Very Special Girl because, again, in trying to avoid more commonplace titles, but it's, again, one of these things where you're forced with a decision where um, Button Down Girl just did not, which would have been a
Oh, A
more
Very Special Girl.
intriguing title.
It's a nice title, A Very Special Girl. Yeah, it's a good title.
So many girls I've met so far have living lives as their big passion. So many want to live in clouds, to dress up and wear a fashion. Matter to me she wears all the right clothes. Matters to me is who's behind the wardrobe. Mama said never to sell less in this world, so I'll keep on looking for a special girl, special girl. So many girls I've met so far will spend the night and ask no questions. So many want to smash and dash, to get together for just jam sessions. Matters to me is more than one night. Matters to me she wants me for her whole life. Mama said never to sell less in this world, so I'll keep on looking for a special girl, special girl. When I was young, recall mother, I'm hanging clothes to dry our laundry. Our life was plain, but her and dad, no matter what, always stayed happy. That picture of love is so firm in my mind. That's the type of girl I want to have share my life. Mama said never to sell less in this world, so I'll keep on looking for a special girl, special girl, special girl. I'll keep looking for a very special girl.
That's a really sweet song.
Thank you.
It's a really sweet song. And
Thank
of
you.
course, I'm sure you dedicated that to your wife.
I did.
Just beautiful. Yeah. So the last piece we're going to play today is actually very, very current, right? She's a keeper.
Yeah, that song is my current single. Again, I put one out about 5 or 6 a year.
Yeah,
The backstory on that's actually a song that I wrote several years ago.
really.
And this past summer, I reworked some of the lines, which again, when you come back to the song again, I said the meter is off on this. So I reworked a couple lines. I played it out in a couple places. I do a fair amount of I do a fair amount of open mics. I use them as focus groups.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Okay, so so a friend of mine said, "Yeah, this is a really good song." Another musician says, "Yeah, this is a really good song. Why don't you put this song out?" So that was I mean the reason I decided, okay, so some people like this song, so okay, I guess I'll
I love
pump
it.
it up in
So
the
when you
queue.
say use as a, do you actually ask the crowd, like, what did you like about this song? Did you like
Well,
this
it's
part?
well, I don't generally. These are impromptu content, which people came up to me, people I know, musician friends of mine said.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I can tell by the reaction to the crowd
yeah,
whether they like the song or not. I can,
yeah, yeah,
if they're into the song or not into the song, because there's songs I've done out that I have not recorded
yeah,
because I said, well, they're just going flat. The crowd doesn't seem to care for this, so why put any more time or effort into it?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so it's yeah. So I do fair amount of local open mics, but I use them as focus groups.
I love it. Is there open mic coming up soon that we should know about?
I depends on the weather and how I feel. So I mean,
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, this is a beautiful song. It's She's a Keeper. Probably heard for the first time by most people because it's premiering.
yep.
She's a keeper. Don't you let her go. She's a keeper. Don't you let her go. Never ask. Make me change even life. My bad habits are what is wrong. Go see a vision if I'm late. There's no vision. She's a keeper. Don't you let her go. She's a keeper. Don't you let her go. Makes me soup when I have no food. Makes me laugh. My bones are food if I'm tired. Let me sleep. Knows my words before I speak. She's a keeper. Don't you let her go. She's a keeper. Don't you let her go. Spent my whole life searching for girl to fit my world. There's something special that I never found with other girls. Now that I found her well, gotta keep her close. So I guess there's nothing left to do. Get down on my knees and propose. She's a keeper. Don't you let her go. She's a keeper. Don't you let her go. Put the window in my hip hop. Always leaving the last of talk. Never asked me to be her dad, but she's always there for my back. She's a keeper. Don't you let her go. She's a keeper. Don't you let her go. She's a keeper. Don't you ever let her go.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you so much, Captain. This has been a lot of fun, but this
Yeah,
is great.
yeah. Again,
Yeah,
thank you very much. Again, because I really, like talking about any artist likes to have appreciation, have their songs heard. And let me toss this out, shameless plug. I mean, again,
sure.
I normally play out throughout New England, but if there's anybody who's doing the songwriter showcase, music festival, anybody who's into original music, reach out.
Excellent. And so let's tell people your website so they know how to find you.
It's www.captc.com. So
Excellent.
CaptC, though I go by Captain C. Again,
Excellent.
I'm not related to the original Captain James Cook, but to my
Where's the
knowledge.
treasure? That's what we want to know. Where's the treasure?
Yeah, where's the treasure? Yeah, well,
Exactly. Well, this has been a
yeah.
lot of fun. Thank you so
Hey,
much. This is
I
great.
enjoyed this. It's been a lot of
Yeah.
fun as well.